Hey guys, welcome to video 22. Today we're going to be talking about construction loans. I've had a lot of clients and realtors alike ask me, hey, could you do a video on construction loans and exactly what the process is and how it all works? And so I sat down to outline this video and realized that there's a lot of information here, and so I'm going to break it into two different videos. If you see me kind of glance up to the side, I've got some notes written there so that I stay on task, solely so I don't take up too much of your time. Obviously, I know not everybody has time to sit and watch a 10 or 15 minute video. So my hope is by breaking this up that you'll be able to take it in shorter chunks and it'll be have more value for you. In this video, we're going to be talking about things that you need to have in place before you go for the financing. The next video we're going to talk about the actual process, what the underwriting looks like, what the processing looks like, how the steps fall into place, when you do what, all that kind of stuff. And so hopefully we'll be able to break this up so it's not too cumbersome of a topic. First of all, we need to talk about the structure of the two different loans. Your construction loan is a draw type loan. So as you move along in the process, your builder will give you draws. So they'll build a little bit and do a little work, and then they'll send you an invoice for some money, and you'll send that invoice to the banker, the commercial banker that you have your construction loan with, and they will fund that draw. And you only pay interest on what you've drawn up over the life of the loan. So normally they're 9 to 12 month terms, interest only. And so, you'll pay interest only on what you've drawn, not the whole amount every month. But if you've only drawn $20,000 of your $250,000 loan, then you only pay interest on your $20,000 versus a traditional mortgage type payment where you're knocking down principal and interest with each payment. So that's a little bit different in the structure. Here I want to talk a little bit about one-time closes. When I have seen one-time closes, I'm not saying this is every one of them. I'm not saying that they don't exist that are actual one-time closes. But what I have seen with one-time closes is this. Normally, they're going to get you one way or the other. So if somebody's offering a one-time close, a lot of times they're either jacking the rate up so that their fees stay low, or they're giving you a market rate but giving you a lot of fees because they're trying to squeeze two closings into one. So most of the time, you're not going to see a true one-time close. I'm not saying they don't exist, not saying that you can't find one. I'm just saying most of the time you want to watch. If you find one, you want to watch that and see, are they charging me too high of a rate? Are their fees too high compared to normal? Your two close loans are most of the time how it's going to be. You're going to close on your construction loan first, you're going to build your house, and then you're going to close on the refinance of this loan, which would be your permanent mortgage. So you're going to have two closings, which means two sets of closing costs. Sometimes they overlap, so you're going to have an appraisal in each one probably. You're going to have doc prep fees in each one. You're going to have a little bit more on the title side on the permanent loan versus on the construction loan. Not going to have a ton of title fees there. So let's talk about your land really quick. Obviously, you're going to want to know where you're going to put the building. Normally, you fall into one of two categories. One, it's a big piece of land out somewhere that you found that you really like to be out and you're trying to build somewhere, or it's in a neighborhood. It's kind of one or the other. If you're in a neighborhood, you really want to look at what are the dimensions of the lot. Are you going to put a contract on the lot? Are there any deed restrictions? Those types of things you're going to want to know. You're going to want to know if there's an HOA. You're going to want to know, again, deed restrictions from the city and from the developer, and just see what those are. Do your research on that before you buy that property, because if you don't and you get in there and say, well, I really want a stucco house, but then the deed restrictions or the HOA requirements don't allow stucco, then you're kind of SOL. So make sure you look into that. If it is a big piece of land, you might want to look into surveying off an acre or two where you want the house to go. The reason that is that when you go to get an appraisal on your property, if you haven't had it surveyed off into an acre or two, then they're going to have to go find a like property of yours. Let's just say you're building a three bedroom, two bath house that's 2,000 square feet. And you have 15 acres, let's just say. They're going to have to go find 3 or 4 other 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot on 15 acres. They're going to have to go find 3 or 4 more homes just like that in order to do the appraisal. And that's pretty unlikely that they're going to find that in the type of radius that they're going to need on the appraisal side. So if you take that survey and you survey off 1 acre, just a square, or on one of the sides, and that's where you're going to put the house, then they can go and say, okay, I need all 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet on 1 acre, and value that piece on its own. The biggest piece of what you're going to want to have done before you come to the financing table is you're going to want to have plans drawn. You're going to want to have some sort of construction budget itemized out, and you're going to want to have it be in some talks, if not already done with, choosing a builder and setting a contract price. The plans, we're going to have to do an appraisal as complete. So an appraisal as is right now as the dirt sits, and then they're going to do an appraisal as complete, as if the house was built, but it's not built yet. So they're going to take a look at those plans. They're going to take a look at the costs. They're going to take a look at what you're putting in there. So if it's granite or Formica, or if it's vinyl flooring or hardwood flooring, they're going to take that into account, and they're going to base their as complete value on that on those plans. As far as the construction piece is going, they want to know that you're not doing anything crazy as far as a heated driveway. Why you would do that in Texas, I have no idea. But they're going to try to look and make sure that that the distribution of the money there is normal, or is in line with what normally is seen in the construction of a home. And so you're going to want to have a budget, and then also the contract. You're going to want to know is it cost plus, or if it's a fixed price. Let me explain that a little bit more. If it's a fixed price, I know that regardless of any cost overruns, you're paying this amount of money. This is what you're paying. And so we're going to set your loan up as if this is the final number. If it's cost plus, that means if you make $20,000 worth of changes, your loan goes up $20,000, or your cost goes up $20,000. And so then we have the conversation of, okay, well, are you going to just come out with that $20,000 out of your pocket, or are you going to want to increase your loan amount? And if that's the case, we need to make sure that you have some room in your debt to income, in your loan to value ratios to do that. So those are the things that you need to have done before you go get the financing. Next video, we're going to talk about what you need to have at the table, and what the process actually looks like from getting your construction loan figured out to going to your permanent lender, and exactly how that process looks. I hope this was informative for you. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. As always, please reach out to me if you need anything on the mortgage side. I'm always happy to help you. I hope this provided some value, and we'll talk soon.